So it seems like every other day we get another streamer managing to insert themselves into another type of drama situation by saying something about their job or being quote unquote ungrateful, right? We've seen it in the past with streamers saying that streaming is a harder job than a 9 to 5, right? And a lot of those streamers, to be fair, to give them credit, right? A lot of them were joking and they were doing memes and they were being ironic, to get people mad, to get rage bait, to get clicks on these clips. But we also have sections of other streamers who are being serious. I forgot his name. I think it was Hasanabi who said that streaming drains them and it's like way harder than a 9 to 5. And then there's other streamers like Queso who just outright live in the real world and say, well, this job is extremely easy. He gets to do what he wants for 4 hours a day and he's rich, right? And it's really only as hard as you make it to be hard, right? If you want to make very high produced stuff, it's obviously going to be harder and more difficult and more planning, but then you're also wanting to do that. So it's kind of on you. It's not really a on-set difficult thing that you're forced to do by a boss. It's something you want to do because you find that fun or that's your passion. But the situation I want to talk about is a different streamer by the name of Cutie Cinderella who spoke on her becoming a streamer and how she didn't actually want to become a streamer. Reading this tweet, it says, Cutie Cinderella says she would have been a happier person if she never became a streamer. The bigger thing I wish I could do if I went back and was able to whisper in my ear, I would say don't do it, via the BBC. And the immediate response we saw to this statement was either positive or negative. Looking at the comments, we see that, there is multiple reasons why she doesn't like what she does, because she has dealt with deepfakes, she's dealt with fans being aggressive, she's dealt with stalkers, she's dealt with I think swatting, and that's a lot of things for streamers and content creators and celebrities in general to deal with. So it makes sense why, although you are grateful and lucky to have the job that you have, you wouldn't want to have it, right? Then another streamer quote tweeted this, responding to her saying, then quit. You and Lud are already set for life. Influencers say this and are so full of shit and are spitting every minimum wage employee struggling to survive just to try and seem relatable. Now, those are the two sides I'm talking about. You either understand the comment she made on where she comes from, and it has to do with being a online persona, dealing with stalkers, dealing with a lot of things that come with being popular on the internet. And then you are on the other side, like this streamer named Techdown, who sees this as a way of kind of being virtue signaling, just wanting to seem relatable, being performative, because you can do it. You can not stream. You can, quit. You're already rich. You could do what you want in life. And not a lot of people have that option. And looking at this whole situation, I think that a lot of streamers, after doing streaming for so long, just start becoming ungrateful and detached from reality. I'm not saying she is, right? Because I don't know her, but it just happens. You don't understand what it is, what you have, the type of job you have, right? If you ask any kid in any school, any teenager, what do they want to do? Most of them are gonna say streamer, a YouTuber, I want to be an actor. As a streamer or a YouTuber or any content creator with a big fan base, you could pretty much do anything, right? You could do nothing. You transition into something else. So saying that you wish you never became a streamer I understand why people are mad at it, because you can just stop being a streamer. You could disappear from the light. There has been multiple YouTubers who do that. There has been multiple YouTubers who just quit, or multiple streamers. I can't think of any specifically. Maybe Joji, maybe Corey Extension, who just take huge breaks and then just never come back again. I know there's more, but I just can't think of specific names right now. But I think my takeaway out of the situation is that no matter what job you do, whether it be your dream job, whether it be a job you hate, what is important is not gonna be what the job itself is, because there's always gonna be a problem in it. It's obviously might not compare to the problems of other people or the struggles of other people, but there's always gonna be a problem, because as humans, we're always gonna look for something bad in the area and the job we have, right? If I become a famous YouTuber or a famous streamer, I would be like, oh, this is hard work or something. I would try to make an excuse. But at the end of the day, it's our own mindset. So I don't think we can necessarily blame people for, saying the struggles of their career, even though from a out point of view with other people who have minimum wage jobs or are struggling, it seems very hypocritical or out of touch with reality, right? I think we just have to look at situations where streamers say something dumb or outlandish or out of touch with reality and just move on. I completely understand both sides, by the way. I understand why it would be hard to be a streamer, but I also understand, and I kind of more agree with the side that if you can do something, you complain about it and then don't take the action on it, it doesn't make any sense. If I was a big YouTuber and I said, I hate YouTube, I wish I never started it, but I was rich, I could just quit and just not do it, right? So it doesn't make sense. And I think my final takeaway is that just don't listen to streamers. A lot of times streamers are just saying stuff to say stuff. They don't ever clearly explain themselves. And sometimes you just have to give them the benefit of the doubt that they were saying something that, they didn't actually mean. But yeah, if you want to be a streamer or a YouTuber, I suggest you should do it. Know that there's probably going to be problems to deal with, but you got to do what you want to do. You got to chase your dreams. And if you don't want to do it, you should quit and give up. But most of the time, the reaction is that streaming is such an easy job. All you do is literally do what you want. And I don't stream, but I would agree with that. Streaming is a really easy job.